Gideon Blackwood had spent 37 years building an empire so impenetrable that even love couldn't get inside. He attended galas in black tie, signed deals worth nations, and smiled at women his mother vetted like thoroughbreds. Then he met Amanda Cole, barista by day, night school nursing student by night, living in a walk-up apartment that smelled of coffee and courage, and in one reckless courthouse afternoon, he married her in secret. When the truth finally broke across his family's marble dining table, the shock wasn't that he'd chosen someone poor. The shock was that he'd chosen someone real. If you've ever loved someone the world told you weren't supposed to love, stay. This story is for you. Drop a single in the comments right now if you believe love should never need permission from anyone else. Welcome back, my wonderful family and friends. If you're tuned in and ready to dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. Tomorrow, I'll be bringing you another exciting story you definitely don't want to miss. So, let's get started. The Blackwood family penthouse occupied the top 3 floors of 720 Park Avenue. 8,500 square feet of Italian marble, custom millwork, and views that made Manhattan look like a toy set someone had arranged just for them. Gideon Blackwood had lived there since he was 24. When his father died of a sudden aneurysm and the board installed him as CEO of Blackwood Capital, the same week, they buried the old man. He was 37 now, 6'2", dark hair swept back, jaw sharp enough to cut glass, eyes the color of aged bourbon. Warm until you realized they were measuring you. Net worth hovered north of $23 billion. Private equity, hedge funds, real estate holdings across 3 continents. He moved through boardrooms like a blade through silk, that he also moved through relationships like a man who had read the fine print first. His mother, Evelyn Blackwood, presided over Sunday dinners the way a general presides over a war room. Crystal stemware, 3 forks per setting. Conversation topics pre-approved. Markets, philanthropy, strategic alliances, which was code for who should Gideon marry next. The shortlist had been the same for 3 years. Heiresses, diplomats' daughters, women whose last names carried weight. Gideon never argued that he simply didn't commit. Until Amanda. They met on a Tuesday in March, cold rain sheeting sideways across 5th Avenue. Gideon had ducked into a small independent coffee shop on 57th to escape a downpour that had soaked through his $4,800 overcoat in 30 seconds. The place was narrow, mismatched chairs, exposed brick, the kind of spot his mother would call quaint, while meaning unacceptable. He ordered black coffee. No room. No sugar. The barista, dark auburn hair in a loose braid, green eyes that looked straight through him instead of at the black Amex in his hand, tilted her head. You sure? It's bitter today. I can add a splash of oat if you want it less angry. He blinked. Most people didn't speak to him that way. I can handle bitter, he said. She smiled. Small, real, no deference. Famous last words. She handed him the cup. Their fingers brushed for half a second. Nothing dramatic. Just contact. He left a 20 in the tip jar. She called after him, "Hey, your change. Keep it." He was already halfway out the door. The next morning he went back. Same order. Same barista. Amanda Cole, according to her name tag. This time she remembered him. "Still angry?" she asked, sliding the cup across the counter. "Less so." "Good. Progress." He lingered 2 seconds longer than necessary. "You work here every day?" "Most days. Paying for night classes." "What are you studying?" "Nursing. 2nd year." He nodded once. "Admirable." She laughed, soft, surprised. "Most people say good luck with that." "I'm not most people." "No," she agreed. "You're not." He came back the next week. Then the week after. Never long conversations. Just enough words to feel like breathing room in a life that had none. She told him she lived in Washington Heights. Shared an apartment with her younger sister who was in community college. Their parents had passed when she was 19, car accident. She'd been raising Lily ever since that. He told her almost nothing. But he listened. One rainy Thursday in April he arrived soaked again. The shop was empty except for them. She handed him coffee, then a towel from behind the counter. You look like a drowned billionaire. He raised a brow. She shrugged. The coat gave you away. And the watch. And the way you stand. Like you own the sidewalk. He dried his face. Does that bother you? No. Just makes me curious why someone who owns sidewalks keeps coming back to a 600-square-foot coffee shop. He met her eyes. Because you don't treat me like I own sidewalks. She leaned on the counter. Then maybe you should stop acting like you do. He laughed short, startled. The sound surprised him more than her. They started texting. Simple things. Her, double shift today. Pray for my arches. Him, consider them prayed for. Coffee waiting when you get off. Her, only if you drink something besides Black Death. Him, fine. 1 oat milk latte. Don't tell my accountant. Nights turned into walks along the Hudson. She wore jeans and a hoodie. He wore whatever he could find that didn't scream money. They talked about everything except his last name. She told him about her dream, to open a mobile clinic for undocumented families in the Bronx. Low-cost care. Dignity first. He told her about the pressure of carrying a legacy that felt more like a noose. One night in late May, under a street lamp near her building, she stopped walking. Gideon, I looked you up. He tensed. I know who you are. He waited for the shift. The awe, the calculation, the retreat. Instead, she stepped closer. I'm not going anywhere, she said quietly. But I need to know if this is real. Or if I'm just a break from your world. He cupped her face with both hands. Gentle, careful. You're not a break. You're the only real thing I've felt in years. She searched his eyes. Then prove it. He kissed her. Slow, searching, like a man finally coming home. She kissed him back. Honest, unafraid. They didn't stop until a car horn startled them apart. 2 weeks later, June 14th, they walked into the New York County Clerk's office on Worth Street and O'Flowers. No witnesses. Just them. He wore a plain gray suit. She wore a simple white sundress she'd bought on sale at Macy's. The clerk asked if they were sure. They both said yes. Rings were plain platinum bands, bought the day before from a small jeweler in the village. When the officiant said, husband and wife, Gideon lifted Amanda's hand to his lips. I'm yours, he whispered. She smiled, tears shining. And I'm yours. They walked out into summer heat holding hands. No photographers. No announcement. Just a marriage certificate folded in his inside pocket and the quiet certainty that they had done something irrevocable. He took her to the penthouse that night. She stepped inside, barefoot on marble, and laughed. This place is ridiculous. It's home now, he said. She turned to him. Only if you're here with me. He pulled her close. I'm not going anywhere. They spent the weekend tangled in sheets, ordering takeout, talking about the future like it was something they could actually touch. Monday morning he went back to the office. She went back to the coffee shop. Neither told anyone. Not yet. He planned to tell his mother at Sunday dinner. Calmly, firmly. Amanda planned to keep working until nursing school finished. They agreed. No rush. No pressure. But secrets have weight. And the Blackwood family had eyes everywhere. One Tuesday in July, Evelyn Blackwood's assistant called Gideon at 8:14 a.m. Your mother would like to see you tonight. 8 o'clock. Formal dress. He frowned. What's the occasion? She didn't say, but she sounded insistent. He texted Amanda. Dinner at my mother's tonight. Wanna come? Her reply came fast. As your wife. As my wife. A long pause. Then, I'll wear the blue dress I bought for graduation. And I'll hold your hand the whole time. He smiled at his phone. I love you. I love you more. He didn't know it yet. But that dinner would be the last quiet moment they'd have for a very long time. If the secret courthouse wedding, the simple rings, the way Gideon finally let himself be seen, if any of it already has your heart racing, drop your thoughts below. The first week after the courthouse wedding felt like living inside a beautiful, fragile bubble. Gideon woke before dawn most mornings. Old habit. But now he didn't immediately reach for his phone or the tablet on the nightstand. Instead he turned toward Amanda, still asleep beside him, her auburn hair fanned across the pillow, one arm thrown over his waist like she was anchoring him to the bed. He would watch her breathe for several minutes, counting the rise and fall of her chest, memorizing the small freckle constellation on her left shoulder. Then he'd slip out quietly, make coffee the way she liked it, oat milk, 1 teaspoon of honey, stirred counterclockwise because she once said it feels luckier, and bring 2 mugs back to bed. She would stir, smile without opening her eyes, and murmur, "You're spoiling me." "You deserve spoiling," he'd answer, pressing the warm mug into her hands. They ate breakfast on the terrace most mornings. Fresh fruit, yogurt, whatever the housekeeper had stocked the night before. Amanda insisted on clearing the plates herself afterward. "I'm not used to someone else doing it," she explained the first time he tried to stop her. "It feels wrong." He let her. He was learning that some battles weren't worth winning. Evenings were quieter. She had night classes 3 times a week, so he'd drive her to the community college in Washington Heights, park a few blocks away so no one would connect the matte black Maybach to the girl in faded jeans and a backpack. While she was in class, he worked from his laptop in the car, windows tinted, security detail discreetly parked across the street. When she emerged at 10:30, tired but bright-eyed, he'd open the passenger door and she'd slide in, smelling faintly of whiteboard markers and hospital antiseptic from her clinical rotations. "How was pharmacology?" he'd ask. "Brutal, but I passed the quiz." He'd kiss her knuckles. "Of course you did." They didn't talk about telling people yet. Not seriously. They agreed it could wait until after her final exams in August, until the summer board meetings quieted, until the moment felt right. But secrets have expiration dates. The first crack appeared on a Thursday in late July. Gideon was in Geneva for 48 hours, annual strategy summit with European partners. Amanda stayed in New York. She had a clinical shift at the hospital Saturday morning. They texted constantly. Her, just finished 12-hour shift. Feet are screaming. Miss you. Him, room service ordered you a hot stone massage tomorrow morning. It's already paid. Tell them your name at the front desk of the penthouse. Her, you're ridiculous. Also thank you. Also I love you. Him, I love you more. Call me when you're in bed. I want to hear your voice before I sleep. She called at 1:14 a.m. New York time, but he answered on the first ring, sitting on the balcony of his hotel suite overlooking Lake Geneva. Tie loosened, sleeves rolled. "Hey, husband," she said softly. The word still hit him like a drug every time. "Hey, wife." They talked for 40 minutes. About her shift, a little boy with a broken arm who drew her a picture. About his meetings, dull except for one French investor who kept mispronouncing Blackwood. About how much they missed each other's warmth in bed. "I keep reaching for you in the middle of the night," she admitted. "I do the same. The hotel pillows are terrible substitutes." She laughed. Sleepy sweet. 2 more days, he promised. Then I'm home. Promise. Promise. He flew back Saturday afternoon, private jet, wheels down at Teterboro at 4:47 p.m. He didn't go to the office. He went straight to the hospital where Amanda was finishing her shift. He waited in the lobby. Cap pulled low, casual hoodie and jeans, until she walked out at 5:32, still in scrubs, hair in a messy bun, backpack slung over one shoulder. She saw him and froze. Then she ran. He caught her mid-leap, arms around her waist, spinning her once before setting her down. "You're early?" she breathed against his neck. Couldn't wait. She pulled back just enough to kiss him. Right there in the hospital atrium, under fluorescent lights and the indifferent gaze of security guards and visitors. Neither cared. They drove home with her hand on his thigh the whole way. That night they ordered Thai takeout, ate cross-legged on the living room rug, talked until 2 a.m., made love slowly on the same rug because neither wanted to wait long enough to reach the bedroom. Sunday morning they woke late. Amanda made pancakes, blueberry extra fluffy, while Gideon set the table on the terrace. They were halfway through breakfast when his phone rang. Evelyn. He almost ignored it. Then he saw the text preview. "We need to talk. Urgently. Dinner tonight. 7:30. Do not be late," he exhaled. Amanda noticed. "Everything okay?" "My mother. She wants me for dinner tonight." Amanda's fork paused midair. "Should I come?" He looked at her. Really looked. "Yes," he said quietly. "I think it's time." She swallowed. Okay. He reached across the table, took her hand. We'll tell her together. She nodded, nervous, but steady. I'm ready if you are. He kissed her knuckles. I'm ready. The Blackwood family dining room was designed to intimidate. 24-foot ceiling. Crystal chandelier the size of a small car. Table long enough for 20. Portraits of dead ancestors staring down from the walls like silent judges. Evelyn sat at the head. She wore pearl gray silk, hair in an elegant chignon, single strand of diamonds at her throat. 2 places were set, both on her right. Gideon walked in at 7:28 p.m. Amanda at his side. She wore the navy blue dress she'd bought for her pinning ceremony. Simple sheath, modest neckline, heels she'd practiced walking in for 2 days, so she wouldn't wobble. Her wedding band glinted under the chandelier light. So did his. Evelyn's eyes flicked to Amanda, then to the rings, then back to Gideon. You brought a guest. She's not a guest, Gideon said calmly. He pulled out Amanda's chair, waited until she sat, then took the seat beside her. Evelyn's lips thinned. Explain. Gideon placed his hand over Amanda's on the table, open, deliberate. We were married 6 weeks ago. Courthouse. Just us. The silence that followed was louder than any shout. Evelyn set her wineglass down with surgical precision. You've married. Yes. Without informing your family. We wanted it to be ours first. Evelyn's gaze shifted to Amanda. And you are? Amanda Cole, Amanda answered, voice steady, though her fingers tightened around Gideon's. I'm a nursing student. I work at a coffee shop near Central Park. I'm not from your world. Evelyn's smile was ice. Clearly, Gideon's jaw clenched. Mother, do not mother me. Evelyn's voice sharpened. You are the head of this family. You carry the Blackwood name. You do not marry a barista in secret like some lovesick undergraduate. Amanda flinched, small, but Gideon felt it that he turned to his mother. I married the woman I love. The fact that she pours coffee for a living doesn't change who she is. It changes everything, Evelyn snapped. The board, the investors, the press. Do you have any idea what this will do to your reputation? My reputation is not my marriage. Evelyn laughed. Short, bitter. You think love conquers all? You think sentimentality runs hedge funds? I think I've spent enough years running this family like a corporation. I'm done. Evelyn leaned forward. You will annul this. Quietly. Immediately. We will find a way to explain it away. A youthful indiscretion. A moment of weakness. I will handle the narrative. Amanda spoke then. Quiet, but clear. No, Evelyn blinked, as if a piece of furniture had suddenly developed speech. Excuse me? I said no. Amanda met her gaze without flinching. This marriage is not up for discussion. It's not negotiable. Gideon chose me. I chose him. We're staying married. Evelyn stared at her, long, assessing. Then she looked back at her son. You would throw away your legacy for this? I would throw away anything that asks me to throw her away. The room temperature seemed to drop. Evelyn stood. This conversation is over. She walked out, heels clicking like gunfire on marble. Gideon exhaled slowly, and Amanda's hand trembled in his. He lifted it to his lips. You were incredible. I was terrified. You didn't show it. She gave a shaky laugh. I was channeling every tough patient moment from clinicals. He pulled her chair closer, wrapped an arm around her shoulders. We're okay. Are we? Yes, because we're together. They left 20 minutes later, hand in hand, past the stunned staff, past the portraits that suddenly seemed smaller. I in the elevator down to the garage. Amanda leaned against him. Your mother hates me. She doesn't know you. She will. He kissed the top of her head. Then she'll love you, just like I do. Outside, rain had started again. Soft summer rain. They stepped into it together, no umbrellas, no hurry. Just them, wet, laughing, married. But the storm was only beginning. If that dinner confrontation, Evelyn's cold fury, Amanda's quiet, no. Gideon's hand over hers on the table, gave you goosebumps or made your heart pound. Drop your honest reaction in the comments below. Part 3, Act 3, Rising Tension. The fallout from Sunday dinner arrived faster than either of them expected. BY Monday morning at 7:42 a.m. Gideon's phone was already vibrating itself off the nightstand. 3 missed calls from his chief of staff. 2 from the board chairman. 1 from Victoria, his older cousin, the family's unofficial enforcer, who left a voicemail that was exactly 23 seconds of icy silence followed by, "We need to speak. Now." He deleted it. Amanda stirred beside him, blinking sleep from her eyes. "Bad news already?" "Predictable news," he said, silencing the phone completely. He pulled her closer instead. "Ignore it for 5 more minutes." She nestled against his chest. 5 minutes won't make the storm disappear. No, but it'll make the storm feel farther away. They stayed like that until the coffee maker beeped downstairs. Only then did he get up, throw on sweatpants, and go make her the honey oat latte she loved. When he came back with 2 mugs, she was sitting up against the headboard, scrolling her own phone. Her face had gone pale. "What?" he asked, setting the mugs down. She turned the screen toward him at a gossip site. Page 6 knockoff called Elite Insider had the headline in screaming caps. Blackwood heir secretly weds barista. Sources say marriage is already in crisis below it. A blurry photo from outside the hospital atrium 2 days earlier. Gideon catching Amanda mid-jump, her arms around his neck, his face buried in her hair. The caption read, "Gideon Blackwood, 37, heir to the $23 billion fortune, was spotted in an affectionate embrace with Amanda Cole, a 29-year-old nursing student and part-time coffee shop worker." Sources close to the family claim the union, rumored to be a hasty courthouse wedding, was kept secret to avoid scandal. Evelyn Blackwood, matriarch, is said to be furious and demanding an immediate annulment. Amanda's voice was small. "They used my full name." Gideon took the phone from her gently, scrolled. There were already 300 comments. Most were vicious. "Gold digger alert. She's cute but come on. He could do better. Classic billionaire midlife crisis. Bet she's pregnant. Poor girl thought she hit the jackpot." A few defended her, but not many. He set the phone face down. "Look at me," he said. She did, eyes shining, chin trembling just a little. "This is noise," he told her. "It's what they do when they're scared. They try to make you feel small so they can feel big again." "I know," she swallowed, "but it still hurts. And Lily saw it. She texted me at 6 a.m. asking if I'm okay." He sat on the edge of the bed, pulled her into his lap. "We'll call her together, right now." They did. Lily, 21, art school student, fiercely protective, answered on the first ring. "Mandy, are you okay? The internet is being disgusting." Amanda laughed, shaky but real. "I'm okay. Gideon's here." Pause. Then Lily, "Hi Gideon. If you hurt my sister I will find you and tattoo jerk on your forehead while you sleep." Gideon smiled despite everything. "Noted. And fair." Lily softened. "Seriously though? Are you two really married?" "Yes," Amanda said. "We are. And we're staying that way." Another pause. Then Lily, "Okay. Then I'm team you. Screw the haters. I love you." "Love you too, Lil." They hung up. Amanda exhaled. At least one person isn't horrified. "Two," Gideon corrected. "Me and Lily." She rested her forehead against his. "What happens now? Now we live our life. And we don't hide anymore." That afternoon Gideon issued a short statement through the company PR team. 2 sentences. Gideon Blackwood and Amanda Cole were married in a private ceremony in June. They are very happy and request privacy during this time. No apology. No explanation. No annulment rumor rebuttal. The internet exploded harder. By evening the story had hit major outlets. Forbes, Bloomberg, even a segment on a nightly entertainment show. Evelyn called it 8:19 p.m. Gideon put her on speaker. "You think a 2-line press release fixes this?" She snapped. "It wasn't meant to fix anything," Gideon said. "It was meant to tell the truth. The truth is you've humiliated this family. The truth is I married the woman I love. Silence. Then Evelyn. The board is convening tomorrow. They want your resignation. Let them ask for it in person. They will. Click. Amanda looked at him. Resignation. If they push hard enough, yes. I own 48%. They can't force me out. But they can make every day hell. She took his hand. Then we make every day worth it. The next morning Gideon walked into the Blackwood Capital headquarters at 8:55 a.m. Not in a suit, but in a charcoal sweater and dark trousers. Amanda waited in the car downstairs. No security detail today. Just them. The boardroom was full when he entered. 12 men and women in tailored everything. Evelyn at the far end, arms crossed. The chairman spoke first. Gideon, you know why we're here. I do. Then you understand the position this puts us in. The stock dipped 6% overnight. Major clients are asking questions. We need stability. You have stability, Gideon said. I'm not leaving. Victoria, seated beside Evelyn, leaned forward. You're distracted. This marriage is a liability. My marriage is my business. Not when it affects shareholder value. Gideon looked around the table. I've given this company 20 years. I've tripled its value. I've never missed a quarter. If you think a personal choice erases that, then you don't know me at all. The chairman exhaled. We're not asking you to leave permanently. Just take a leave. 6 months. Let the noise die down. Then return. No, Evelyn spoke then, cold, measured. If you refuse, we will vote to dilute your voting power. We have the proxies lined up. Gideon smiled, small, dangerous. You can try. I'll countersue. And I'll win. A ripple of tension. One board member, older, quieter, spoke up. Gideon, is she worth this? Gideon looked straight at him. She's worth everything. He walked out, down the elevator, out the lobby. Amanda was waiting on the sidewalk, hood up against the light drizzle, hands in her pockets. He stopped in front of her. They want me gone. She searched his face. What did you say? I said no. She nodded once. Then we keep going. They walked to a small cafe 3 blocks away. Same one where they'd first met, coincidentally. Sat in the back corner. Ordered coffee. Amanda spoke first. I don't want you to lose your company because of me. I'm not losing it because of you. I'm risking it because I refuse to let them dictate my life. She reached across the table. I'm scared they'll take it away. They might. Then what? Then we start over. Together. She laughed, soft, disbelieving. You make it sound simple. It's not simple, but it's worth it. They sat there for 2 hours, talking, planning, laughing when the barista recognized Amanda and brought them free pastries for old time's sake. By the time they left, the rain had stopped. The sun was trying to break through, but the pressure kept building. Victoria called that evening. Mother's drafting a letter to the family trust. If you don't annul by Friday, you're cut off. No access. No inheritance. Nothing. Gideon put the phone on speaker again. Tell her I said good luck. Gideon. I'm done negotiating my happiness. He hung up. Amanda looked at him from the couch. Legs tucked under her, nursing textbook open but unread. You really just did that. I did. She set the book aside, walked over, straddled his lap, cupped his face. You're either the bravest man I know, or the most stubborn. Both. She kissed him, slow, deep, grateful. When they parted, she whispered, I'm proud of you. He rested his forehead against hers. I'm proud of us. The next 3 days were a blur of headlines, anonymous leaks, and cold shoulders from people he'd known for decades. Old friends texted awkward apologies. Business partners suggested distance. Evelyn sent one final message. You have until Friday. After that, you are no longer welcome in this family. Gideon stared at it for a long time. Then he blocked her number. Friday came. No call. No reprieve. Saturday morning Amanda woke to find Gideon in the kitchen. Making breakfast, sleeves rolled, humming off key. She leaned in the doorway. You're cheerful. I'm free, he said simply. She crossed to him, wrapped her arms around his waist from behind. What now? Now we live. Really live. No more hiding. No more waiting for permission. She turned him around, kissed him. Then let's start today. They spent the day walking the city, hand in hand. No disguises, people stared. Some whispered that a few took photos. They didn't care that at dusk they ended up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Leaning on the railing, watching the skyline light up, Gideon slipped his arm around her shoulders. I'm sorry for the chaos. Don't be. She leaned into him. I chose this chaos. I choose you. He kissed her temple. I choose you too. Every day. Behind them, the city pulsed, loud, indifferent, alive. In front of them, the future waited. No guarantees, no safety net, just the two of them. And for the first time in his life, Gideon Blackwood felt completely, terrifyingly, wonderfully free. If the boardroom standoff, the blocked number, the bridge moment at dusk, or Amanda straddling his lap saying, I'm proud of you, made your heart race or ache in the best way. Please tell me in the comments below. The invitation arrived on a Tuesday in late October, thick cream cardstock, black embossed lettering, hand-delivered by courier to the Brooklyn brownstone. Gideon and Amanda had quietly purchased 3 weeks earlier. Blackwood Family Annual Gala. Black tie. 7 p.m. The Plaza Hotel, Grand Ballroom. Attendance mandatory for all family members. No RSVP line. No +1 option. Just those 4 words at the bottom in smaller type. Failure to attend will be considered a formal resignation from family obligations. Gideon stared at the card for a full minute. Amanda found him in the kitchen, still holding it like it might bite. What is it? She asked, sliding her arms around his waist from behind. He turned the card so she could read it. She exhaled slowly. They're forcing the public moment. They're forcing a choice, he corrected. Show up alone and pretend nothing happened, or show up with you and burn the bridge for good. Amanda rested her cheek against his back. What do you want to do? He set the card down. I want to go. With you. No hiding. No excuses. She turned him around, looked up. Then we go. Together. He cupped her face. You understand what this means? Cameras. Press line. Every society page will have photos by morning. My mother will make sure of it. I know. They'll try to humiliate you. They'll whisper. They'll ask questions designed to make you feel small. She smiled, small, fierce. I've been small before. I survived it. I'm not afraid of whispers when I know who I am to you. He kissed her. Hard, grateful, a little desperate. Then we'll give them something to talk about. They spent the next 10 days preparing. Not with stylists or PR teams, but quietly, together. Amanda found her gown at a small boutique in Williamsburg. A deep emerald silk, off the shoulder, fitted through the bodice then flowing to the floor. Simple, elegant, nothing flashy. She tried it on in their bedroom, barefoot, hair loose. Gideon watched from the doorway. You look like you belong anywhere you want to be, he said. She spun once, slow, smiling. I belong with you. That's enough. He bought a new tuxedo, classic black, single-breasted, no pocket square, no cufflinks with the family crest. Just clean lines. They practiced answers if someone asked about her background. I'm a registered nurse now. I work with underserved communities in the Bronx. If someone asked about money, we don't discuss finances. We discuss futures. If someone asked if she was after his fortune, Amanda's planned reply, I married him when he was still wearing a hoodie and buying his own coffee. I'd marry him again tomorrow if he lost everything. Gideon practiced not punching anyone who insulted her. Friday night arrived like a storm front. They took a regular yellow cab to the plaza, no limousine, no fanfare. Gideon paid the driver in cash. They stepped out onto the red carpet at 7:12 p.m. Fashionably late, deliberately so. Cameras flashed immediately. Reporters surged. Mr. Blackwood, is this your secret wife? Mrs. Blackwood, how does it feel to join one of America's richest families? Amanda kept her hand in Gideon's. Steady grip. He answered only one question, voice calm and clear over the noise. My wife and I are very happy. That's all we have to say tonight. Security parted the crowd. They walked inside. The grand ballroom was a sea of wealth. Gowns that cost more than most people's cars, diamonds that caught every chandelier light, waiters gliding with champagne flutes. Heads turned, whispers followed. Evelyn stood near the center of the room. Black velvet gown, diamond choker, expression carved from ice. Victoria flanked her left. Several cousins and distant relatives formed a loose semicircle behind them. Like a receiving line for judgment, Gideon walked straight toward them. Amanda at his side. Chin high, steps even. They stopped 3 feet away. Evelyn spoke first, voice low, lethal. You actually brought her. I brought my wife, Gideon corrected. A ripple of murmurs spread outward. Evelyn's gaze flicked to Amanda. You're wearing green. How festive. Amanda smiled. Polite, unshaken. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. Evelyn's lips thinned. Enjoy the evening. It will be your last as part of this family. Gideon stepped forward, half a step, protective. She's not leaving, and neither am I. Victoria laughed. Short, sharp. You think this is a negotiation? The board has already voted. You're out. Effective midnight tonight. Your shares will be frozen pending legal review. You'll be lucky if you keep your personal accounts. Gideon didn't flinch. Then I'll be lucky. Evelyn leaned closer. You're throwing away 3 generations of work for a girl who serves coffee. Amanda spoke then, quiet, but every word carried. I served coffee. Past tense. I'm a nurse now, and even if I was still behind that counter, I'd still be the woman your son chose. The woman he married. The woman he loves. You can take his title. You can take his money. You can't take me from him. And you can't take him from me. The circle around them went silent. Evelyn stared. Long. Assessing for the first time. Something flickered in her eyes. Not warmth. Not acceptance. But doubt. Victoria stepped forward. This is embarrassing. Walk away now. Both of you. Before the photographers catch more. Gideon looked at his cousin. I'm done walking away. He turned to Amanda. Dance with me? She smiled real bright. I'd love to. They walked to the center of the dance floor. The orchestra was playing something slow. Violin and cello, soft piano underneath. Gideon pulled her close. One hand at the small of her back, the other holding hers against his chest. They swayed around them. People watched. Some with pity. Some with scorn. A few with curiosity. Amanda rested her cheek against his shoulder. You okay? She whispered. Never better. She laughed softly. Liar. Truth, he murmured. I've never felt more myself. They danced through the song. Then another. Halfway through the third, Evelyn approached. Alone. The music kept playing. She stopped beside them. Gideon didn't stop dancing. Evelyn spoke. Voice low enough that only they could hear. I was wrong about one thing. Gideon raised a brow. You didn't marry her in a moment of weakness. Amanda lifted her head. Evelyn looked at her. Really looked. You have spine. More than most people in this room. Amanda didn't smile. Just held her gaze. I had to. Growing up the way I did. You either grow spine or you break. Evelyn exhaled. I broke mine a long time ago. Silence stretched. Then Evelyn, almost inaudibly. I'm not ready to apologize. But I'm not ready to lose my son either. Gideon's hand tightened on Amanda's waist. Then don't. Evelyn looked between them. Give me time. She turned, walked away. Not in defeat. Not in victory. Just walking. The music ended. Gideon and Amanda stayed in the center of the floor. He lifted her hand to his lips. Kissed my wife in front of the whole world, he said softly. She grinned. Scandalous. Worth it. They left 30 minutes later, hand in hand past the same photographers who had hounded them on arrival. This time no questions. Just flashes. In the cab ride home, Amanda leaned against him. You think she'll come around? I don't know. Does it matter? He kissed her temple. Not tonight. They arrived home after midnight. The brownstone was quiet. Lights low. Their new life waiting. Gideon closed the door behind them, locked it, turned to her, pulled her close. "Thank you," he whispered against her hair. "For what?" "For standing there. For speaking. For being you." She rose on her toes, kissed him, slow, deep, full of everything they just survived. When they parted, she whispered, "We did it. We did." He lifted her bridal style, carried her upstairs. They made love in the soft glow of the bedside lamp. Slow, reverent, certain. Afterward they lay tangled in sheets. Amanda traced his wedding band with her fingertip. "Still worth it?" He caught her hand, kissed the ring. Every second, she nestled closer. "Tomorrow's going to be loud. Headlines, calls, more fallout. Let it be loud." She smiled against his chest. "I love you, Gideon Blackwood. I love you, Amanda Blackwood." Outside, the city kept moving, lights, noise, indifference. Inside their small bedroom, two people who had just faced down an empire held each other like the only thing that mattered. And it was. If that dance floor confrontation, Evelyn's quiet, "I'm not ready to lose my son," Amanda's spine in front of the entire gala, or Gideon carrying her up the stairs at the end wrecked you in the best possible way. Please share your heart in the comments below. The morning after the gala dawned quiet. Almost too quiet, and no buzzing phones. No urgent emails. No furious voicemails from Victoria or Evelyn. Gideon woke first. The Brooklyn brownstones still wrapped in early November fog outside the bedroom windows. Amanda slept beside him, one arm flung across his chest, her wedding band catching the pale gray light filtering through the curtains. He didn't move for a long time, just watched her breathe, counted the small freckles on her shoulder, let himself feel the weight of what they'd done the night before. Walking into that ballroom hand in hand, dancing under every judgmental eye, refusing to bend, that he had expected chaos today. Instead there was stillness. That he slipped out of bed carefully, pulled on sweatpants, padded downstairs barefoot, made coffee the way she liked it, honey, oat milk, counterclockwise stir. Carried 2 mugs back up. She stirred when he set hers on the nightstand. "Morning, husband," she mumbled, eyes still closed. "Morning, wife." She cracked one eye open. No apocalypse notifications? None yet. She sat up slowly, hair a beautiful mess. "That's suspicious." He handed her the mug. "Enjoy the calm. It probably won't last." She sipped, sighed. "It was worth it. Last night. Even if they never speak to us again." He sat on the edge of the bed. "I meant every word I said. You're worth more than any legacy they built." She reached for his hand. "And you're worth more than any boardroom vote." They stayed like that, coffee cooling, fingers laced, until her phone buzzed on the dresser. "Lily." Amanda answered on speaker. "Mandy? You alive? The internet is losing its mind. There are photos everywhere. You looked like a queen in that green dress." Amanda laughed. "I felt like a fraud half the night. You didn't look like one." Gideon looked ready to fight anyone who breathed wrong in your direction. Gideon smiled despite himself. "Thanks, Lily. Anytime, brother-in-law. Seriously, proud of you both. Call me later. Love you." She hung up. Amanda set the phone down. "See? Not everyone hates us." "Not everyone," he agreed. The first real crack in the silence came at 11:47 a.m. A courier arrived. Same service as the gala invitation. This time a small cream envelope. No crest. Just Evelyn's handwriting on the front. Gideon and Amanda inside. One sheet of stationery. "I would like to see you both. Lunch. Saturday. My home. No press. No agenda. Just conversation." Amanda read it over his shoulder. "She used my name." "She did." They looked at each other. "Trap?" Amanda asked. "Possibly. Or progress." "Possibly." He folded the note. "We'll go." Saturday arrived cold and clear. They took the subway uptown, no Maybach, no driver. Just 2 people in coats and scarves blending into the weekend crowd. Evelyn's townhouse on East 71st Street looked exactly as it always had. 4 stories of limestone, black iron railing, wreaths of evergreen on the doors for the season. The butler, James, who had served the family since Gideon was in diapers, opened the door. Mr. Gideon. Mrs. Amanda. He said it without hesitation. Amanda squeezed Gideon's hand. Inside smelled of cinnamon and pine. A small fire crackled in the drawing room. Evelyn stood by the window. Simple cashmere sweater, no jewelry except her wedding band, which she still wore despite the divorce decades earlier. She turned no ice in her expression this time. Just fatigue. And something softer. Thank you for coming. Gideon nodded once. Evelyn gestured to the sofa. The Saturday tea was brought. 3 cups, no fanfare. Evelyn took a slow breath. I watched the videos, she began. The dance. Your faces when you looked at each other. I saw something I haven't seen in this family in a very long time. Gideon waited. Choice, she finished. Real choice. Not obligation. Not strategy. Just 2 people who chose each other. Amanda spoke quietly. That's all we ever wanted. Evelyn looked at her. I was cruel at the gala. I was angry and afraid. Afraid of losing control. Afraid of what people would say. Afraid of being wrong. She set her teacup down. I was wrong. Silence settled. Gentle this time. Gideon's voice was low. You hurt her. I know. Amanda leaned forward. I don't need an apology for me. I need one for him. He's carried your expectations his whole life. He deserves to be free of them. Evelyn's eyes shimmered, just for a second. I'm sorry, Gideon, for the pressure, for the coldness, for making you believe love was a liability instead of a strength. Gideon swallowed. He reached for his mother's hand. Took it, held it. I forgive you. Evelyn's shoulders dropped, like a weight she'd carried for decades had finally shifted. She looked at Amanda. I'd like to know you, not as the girl who married my son, as Amanda, as the woman who gave him back his life. Amanda smiled, small, real. I'd like that too. Lunch was simple, roast chicken, roasted vegetables, bread still warm from the oven. No staff hovering. Just the 3 of them at a small table in the sunroom. They talked. Really talked. Evelyn asked about Amanda's work at the mobile clinic in the Bronx. Listened, asked follow-up questions, even took notes on her phone about potential donors. Amanda asked about Evelyn's early years, before the marriage, before the money, when she'd wanted to be a painter. Evelyn laughed, soft, surprised, at memories she hadn't shared in years. Gideon watched them, watched his mother soften, watched his wife open doors no one else had ever tried. By the time coffee arrived, Evelyn reached across the table, took Amanda's hand. Welcome to the family, she said quietly. Amanda's eyes filled. Thank you. They left at 4 o'clock, Evelyn walking them to the door herself. She hugged Gideon, brief, awkward, but real. Then she hugged Amanda, held on a second longer. Take care of him, she whispered. I will, Amanda whispered back. And he'll take care of me. Outside, the November air felt lighter. They walked to the subway hand in hand. Amanda leaned against him on the train. That was unexpected. Good unexpected? Very good. Christmas came 6 weeks later. Evelyn hosted, not at the townhouse but at the brownstone. She arrived with a single gift bag, no ostentatious wrapping. Inside, a small canvas, Evelyn's own painting from 30 years ago. A simple landscape, green hills, blue sky, a girl in the distance walking toward the horizon. For your living room, Evelyn said. Something that isn't marble and gold. Amanda hung it above the fireplace that night. Gideon stood behind her, arms around her waist. It's perfect. It is. New Year's Eve they stayed home, no gala, no countdown on television. Just them. Fire in the hearth. Takeout from the Thai place down the street. Champagne in mismatched mugs. Tea midnight. Gideon pulled her close. Happy New Year, Mrs. Blackwood. Happy New Year, Mr. Blackwood. They kissed, slow, deep, full of promises kept. Later, curled on the couch under a blanket, Amanda traced his wedding band. Do you miss it? The old life. He thought about it, really thought. I miss pieces, the certainty, the power. But I don't miss the loneliness. I don't miss pretending. She nestled closer. I'm glad. Me too. Spring brought more change. Amanda finished nursing school, graduated with honors. Gideon sat in the audience, clapping louder than anyone. They opened the mobile clinic together, funded partly by Gideon's personal accounts, partly by new donors Evelyn quietly introduced. Evelyn came to the ribbon cutting, wore jeans, stayed for 3 hours, talked to patients, laughed with kids. When she left, she hugged Amanda long, tight. "Thank you," she whispered, "for giving me my son back." Amanda hugged her tighter. "He was always yours. He just needed room to breathe." Summer arrived. One Saturday in July, exactly 2 years after their courthouse wedding. They stood on the Brooklyn rooftop at sunset. Gideon had strung fairy lights along the railing. A small table held 2 glasses of champagne and a single white daisy. Amanda wore the same white sundress from their wedding day, still fit perfectly. Gideon wore the gray suit from that day too. He took both her hands. "I married you in secret because I was afraid of losing you to the noise. Today I want to marry you in the open. No hiding, no fear, just us again." He pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside, 2 new bands, platinum thinner, engraved with the date of the gala. 10.25.25. "The night we chose forever," out loud. He slid one onto her finger beside the original. She slid the other onto his. Then he dropped to one knee. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. "Amanda Cole Blackwood," he said, voice thick, "will you renew these vows with me? Every year, every hard day, every good one, until we're old and gray and arguing about whose turn it is to make coffee." Tears slipped down her cheeks. She laughed through them. "Yes, every year, every day." He stood, pulled her close. They kissed as the sun sank, slow, certain, witnessed only by the city skyline and the stars beginning to appear. Downstairs, in their kitchen, Evelyn waited. Small cake she'd baked herself, lopsided but iced with love. She hugged them both when they came in. "Happy anniversary," she said. Amanda kissed her cheek. "Happy family." They ate cake at the small table, laughed, shared stories. When Evelyn left, hugging them both at the door, she paused. "I was wrong about so much," she said quietly. Gideon took her hand. "We're here now." She nodded, tears shining. "You are." The door closed. Gideon turned to Amanda. She wrapped her arms around his neck. "Still worth it?" He kissed her forehead. "More than ever." They went upstairs, made love in the soft glow of the rooftop lights still twinkling outside. Afterward they lay tangled. Sweaty, happy, home. Amanda traced his jaw. "I love you, Gideon. I love you, Amanda." Outside, Brooklyn hummed. Alive, ordinary, beautiful. Inside, 2 people who had fought through every storm finally rested. Not in wealth. Not in status. In each other. And it was everything. 4 years later, early June, the mobile clinic had grown. 3 vans now, serving 3 boroughs. Amanda ran it full-time. Gideon consulted part-time, strategy, fundraising, never taking a salary. They lived simply in the brownstone. Money no longer the center of anything. Evelyn came every Sunday for dinner. She brought paintings sometimes. New ones she'd started again after 30 years. Lily moved in upstairs. Her art studio in the attic, laughter filling the halls. One warm evening they all sat on the rooftop. Evelyn sketching, Lily strumming a guitar, Amanda leaning against Gideon's chest while he rubbed slow circles on her back. A small bassinet sat nearby. Inside, a 6-month-old girl, adopted last fall, dark curls, bright eyes, named Elena after Amanda's mother. Elena gurgled happily, waving tiny fists. Gideon looked down at her, then at Amanda, then at his mother, smiling softly, sketching the baby's face, then at Lily, singing quietly. He felt something settle. Deep, unshakable, peace. Amanda caught his eye. "Happy?" she whispered. He kissed her temple. "Beyond." She smiled. "Me too." Evelyn looked up from her sketchpad. "Family portrait?" she asked. They gathered close. Gideon's arm around Amanda, Amanda holding Elena, Lily beside them, Evelyn on the other side. The sun set slow and golden. The camera shutter clicked. Lily's phone. Later that night, after everyone had gone to bed, Gideon and Amanda stood at the nursery door. Elena slept peacefully, tiny chest rising and falling. Gideon slipped his arm around Amanda's waist. "She's perfect," he whispered. "She is." He kissed Amanda's hair. "We're perfect." She laughed softly. "We're messy, and broke sometimes, and loud, and wonderful." He turned her to face him. "And married. Very married." They kissed, quiet, deep, full of years already lived and years still waiting. Down the hall, Evelyn's light was still on. She was reading in the guest room. Lily's music drifted faintly from upstairs. The house breathed with them, and somewhere in that breathing, the old empire finally faded. Not gone, but no longer the center. Love was, and it was enough. If this long journey, from secret courthouse vows to rooftop family portraits, from Evelyn's ice to her quiet sketches, from poor girl whispers to real belonging, left you feeling warm, hopeful, maybe even teary, please share one moment that stayed with you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my story all the way to the end. Your support means everything. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.